All right, it's Jest World, and I am Brad Reed.
And I am Chip Goddard.
And of course, we have just watched the season 2, episode 10, season finale of Westworld. It was called The Passenger. We're a day late.
We are a day late.
I was not in town yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. It is a longer episode. Takes more to set in.
It was an hour and a half. But maybe everybody who's watching, they've already seen it, and so they'll be more apt to we won't get spoiled.
Right,
but if you haven't seen it, spoilers.
Yeah, we're pretty much going to break down the whole episode.
Yeah. And then, of course, we do our tangent world. So if you want to watch along and listen along, you can always do that by going to the Just World pages. Same place everywhere for all that stuff. Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes. So it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Facebook.
We did
on
that.
Facebook.
So you get an in-depth. Plus, of course, on Tangent World, of course, we bust into whatever else.
Yeah.
So right now, though, we will keep it this episode specific. Comment and share because we want to know what you thought. But where do you want to start? This was such an amazing episode, in my opinion.
Let's just work character by character.
Okay.
So,
okay. Should we go who died first?
Sure.
Because who was the first one to really bite it? Clementine or
no? It'd probably be Sizemore.
Sizemore. Okay. So Sizemore
Went out like a G.
Yeah.
Sacrificed himself
Right.
to save Maeve and her friends.
That's true. Maeve and Felix and Sylvester and Hector and Armistice.
Both armistices.
Yeah, both of them.
Asian and regular.
Right.
Or
Regular.
American and Asian, whatever.
Was she even? Yeah, I guess she would have been American. Because some of those I always forget. Because
it was definitely a European actress.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The real actresses and some of them are.
I mean, she was probably a Targaryen with that hair.
That's true. That's true.
But
yeah, he had a redemption.
Yeah.
In his arc, I guess, his storyline, because of course he started off very kind of an
unlikable.
asshole.
Yeah. He was just really kind of a selfish prick in the beginning.
True. And and you kind of thought, even as this season went along, that he was going to continue just looking out for himself, even when he did something that you might consider good.
Yeah. I mean, he tried to save Maeve earlier, when she was on the cutting table.
Right.
But he didn't put a whole lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
And then they found him just, cowering and crying, and so I feel like they're like, all right, you get a redemption, you get a second chance. Don't fuck up.
Yeah. And as we're talking about everything, we want to make sure that you guys know we sure want you to join in the conversation. So let us know what you guys thought, because, man, this episode, we talked about this on Tangent World. It really felt like this was the end.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like they probably filmed this whole season thinking this was going to be it.
Right.
And then, just leaving it kind of on a cliffhanger, but kind of on a high note as well. But yeah, they're coming back for at least one more season, so that's always good.
Yeah, I can't wait for that, because so much happened. Who did we predict? Did we predict anyone was going to actually get out of the park?
We did, especially on that future thing. They just said, do any of the hosts make it out?
Okay.
Yes.
But specifically last week, I thought Maeve would.
If anybody was going to.
No. I think maybe Maeve, I thought, wasn't, but Dolores would.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Maeve wanted to leave.
Yeah.
That wasn't her goal.
You would think she would have wanted to go with her daughter, though, because her daughter does end up making it out.
Yes.
And you would think she would have wanted to, but she did. She wanted to, I feel like, but she sacrificed herself to make sure her daughter got out.
Oh, look. Shamalama Randy's on.
Yeah, Randy.
Shamalama Randy.
Randy, I've got this cattle decapitation record I'd like to sell you.
Randall's a big fan of that.
Yeah, he is. But Maeve ends up not making it out. Spoiler alert.
Yep. Maeve is dead.
Church yesterday was awesome. I was in New Orleans, so you know.
Yeah.
It was funny. Of course, New Orleans, very Catholic town.
Yeah.
But there was a girl there that was asking people around. She was like, "Where's the big Baptist church?" I was like, "Okay, everybody drinks on the sidewalk and dances. There's no Baptist churches in New Orleans, which I'm sure there are, but not many.
Not the same as our Baptist churches.
No. So Randy, does Randy watch Westworld?
No.
Okay.
Randy doesn't have time. He's a daddy. He's got a little tyke, and that kid runs wild.
Yeah. Make that kid watch Westworld. That's what I would do. That's what I have done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Randy, for tuning in. So Maeve, she doesn't make it out.
No.
But neither I say her daughter makes it out. She doesn't make it out of the park.
Well, Maeve too makes it out.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Not the who's the lady that plays Maeve? Man, I forget anyway. But yeah, Maeve too does, but the original Maeve, she does not. But they don't make it out of the park necessarily. It's some kind of like digital heaven or purgatory or something that Bernard and the Matrix Logan created.
It's kind of weird. Like they're all there, but you know, is it really heaven? Like for Teddy, because Teddy's left there at the end, and he's sad, he's crying.
Yeah,
his love of his life isn't there.
Right.
So who knows?
I'd be like, man, I just tried to kill myself. You just brought me back and stuck me in here where there's no women.
Great.
Ack, he made it into.
Yeah.
And he actually did. He had made it in with his lady.
He got shot in the back on the way in. I thought that was a great scene.
It was cool.
He reaches back there and he's fine.
That kind of reminded me of what was that? The movie? Was it Ghost? I guess.
Yeah.
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 Was it the guy on the subway? Yeah. It kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, that was pretty dope. Dolores, she does make it out of the park.
Yes. She makes it out in a Charlotte Hale meat suit.
Yeah, pretty much. And Charlotte couldn't have happened to a nicer lady.
Yeah, she was a horrible person in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mighty fine meat suit, but yeah.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Mighty fine.
Yeah. But yeah, they ended up. I thought it was so cool the way that Dolores ends up doing that.
Yeah.
And because I just did not see that coming.
Yeah,
I didn't see the way she gets out of the park coming. None of that.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good. I mean, because like we said, we're a little bit of running out of mysteries when it comes to Westworld. But they did introduce a few more kind of things that we'd be curious about going forward.
Okay, so for Maeve,
Bernard.
Okay, Bernard makes it out.
Yeah, he does in a way.
Yeah, Dolores smuggles him out or recreates him. It's kind of unclear which one happens.
And what was interesting about that too was when Bernard encounters Dolores after she wakes him up after recreating him on the outside.
Yeah.
There's a song playing and it's talking about sleight of hand and all that, which could have been how she snuck him out.
Yeah.
Or that whatever Bernard is experiencing really isn't the outside world.
Right. Well, yeah, it's probably all simulation again.
Yeah, exactly.
But in that scene, we also see Charlotte Hale and Dolores separately. Mm-hmm. So, and they're working together. So does that mean that there's two Doloreses running around? One's just, wearing Charlotte, or did she take that brain out and put it in, create a new one?
One of the people we noticed was Floki, the head of security, right? Well, Stubbs is kind of the head of security, but he's the guy they called in, basically. But he had been to the park.
His when Dolores is in that big library, the big repository of all the consciousnesses of the guests, his name is on a book, and she picks it up and reads it. And my thinking is, since she has perfect memory, because they've kind of gone over that with the reveries and things like that, that she can memorize that code and recreate it.
Could she have uploaded that into the Charlotte meat suit? And that way she now has another protector, like Teddy was?
Yeah, she totally could have. Yeah.
I think so, because you're taking what this guy would do since he was so highly trained, and now he's her bodyguard.
Yeah.
So I think that could totally be what happened with, or who is inhabiting Charlotte now.
That just kind of ruins it for me, though, because I mean, I don't want to think of Floki from Vikings just in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if she taught, like, the voice that came out was Floki?
Oh, that'd be so weird.
That's funny.
Okay, so
James Delos.
Yeah, James Delos is in. Oh, but back to Bernard a little bit.
Oh, sure.
We get that whole scene where he's talking to Ford on the beach.
Yeah.
And we find out that because he deleted Ford, but he had to call upon him to figure out what to do, and he ends up bringing Charlotte back that way. Or
right.
Not Charlotte, but Dolores.
Right.
Well,
right.
I guess both.
Yeah.
But he goes to that whole thing where I thought this voice was you that was guiding me, was helping me, but it was actually my own inner thoughts, my own voice, and that's that whole the birth of religion thing. You think this voice in your head is the gods commanding you,
right?
And it just turns out to be it's your consciousness. It's your conscience.
Bernard made that joke earlier. Was it in this season or the first season where they were talking about the people that heard the voice and thought they were God? And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're insane.
They're insane." Yeah.
And then he's going through the same thing.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
But yeah, then we have Papa Delos.
Yeah, Papa Delos. We didn't really see him out in the real world or out in the park necessarily, but we did get to see like what happens when they just run simulations of him in the park.
They tried to recreate him just based on his actions.
And he was a murderous little bastard.
Yeah, he cut his face all up. It was pretty weird.
Yeah, he was like the Joker of Westworld. So, a little bit of he didn't play into, I think, as much of the season as I thought he was going to, except for just to kind of tip us off for some of the expectations of what would be coming. But let's go back to Stubbs a little bit.
Oh yes, Stubbs.
Stubbs has this conversation with Dolores / Charlotte as she's leaving the park
right at the end.
And he, like you said, he's either trained so well that he knows, okay, this is not Charlotte.
Right.
But how would he know who it really was? Because it did seem like there was some kind of recognition that he knew who it was and that, he was supporting them leaving the park.
Yeah. His whole dialogue in that totally led to at least to me thinking that he was created by Ford as the head of security there.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's where I was thinking. And like I say,
he's worked there for so long you can't remember it.
Yeah.
He was handpicked by the boss. He just does what the boss wants him to do. He calls that his core. He's a host.
Yeah.
He's a host.
Yeah. Some of it, I guess, when he was saying, you could call it my core. Like, he's relating to Charlotte or Dolores.
Or he's the smartest one in the whole thing, and he's just realized that humans aren't any different than these hosts because we're just doing what we're programmed to do.
True.
Which I think he actually alludes to in one of the first episodes when he's talking to Elsie.
Right.
But we're going to have to rewatch and, like, knowing what we know now kind of thing. So.
Spoiler alert, Elsie?
Totally dead.
She did.
She dead.
She gunned down by...
Charlotte killed her.
The real Charlotte.
Yeah.
So, yeah, by the time that she does all that, we're like, good.
Right.
Good that Dolores... Even though Dolores is the bad guy, she's I don't know. She's more of maybe just an anti-hero.
Yeah. Dolores is totally not... I mean, she's a bad guy. I feel like at the end with that whole conversation with Bernard where she talks about she needs him, but they're not going to be on the same side. They're not going to be allies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's totally I feel like she's both God and Satan at this point.
Yeah.
But
or she's Satan and he's God and they can't exist without each other.
In this inverse,
yeah,
it's Satan creates God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or she's Batman and he's Batman and she's the Joker, or she's the Joker and he's the
right.
It's all
one needs the other.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was kind of weird, that whole thing. I didn't really. I mean, I think that they probably were being weird and vague a little bit on purpose to lead us into what's going to happen next. So Okay, let's go ahead. What we'll do, we're gonna go ahead and do Man in Black.
Yes.
And then we'll take a little break, and then we'll have like predictions for we'll wrap it up and have predictions. But we got to talk about the Man in Black.
Oh, Man in Black. All right. First, first thing we see of him, he's digging around in his arm trying to find his plug.
Which they never really.
Right.
We did. I mean, there was a little bit of blood on his arm.
Right.
But it looked like if you're digging into your arm like that,
you'd be bleeding a little more. You'd think.
You would think it'd be gory, a little more gory. I don't know. Maybe
yeah, I've never done it.
Me either. So it just seems that way to me. But again, they left that a little bit open ended. But then he, we were talking about one of the shows that we're the Delos for. Other shows, basically, the Wisecrack, and they were talking about how with the Man in Black, everybody thinks that he's the host and everything, and that I kept thinking that they're leading us to that, but it's not. It's too much.
They're pushing it too hard.
Yeah. So. I don't know, man. There's a lot of people out there that watch these shows and comment and stuff, and everybody thought he was.
I mean, even this episode kind of ended ambivalently. We don't know.
Yeah.
We suspect, but yeah. Okay, so let's just keep talking about him and we'll get to that point.
Yeah.
So he's digging in his arm, and first thing Dolores says when she walks up to him is, "Oh, so you're questioning your reality."
Right.
So that... But Man in Black loses his hand. He gets his hand blown off.
Right.
And then that's kind of the last we see of him until that final scene. We see him climb into an elevator.
Well, because Dolores basically just leaves him, to die or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that the bullet that she used in his gun to
blow it
up was the bullet that Teddy tried to use, but couldn't. He did. I guess it didn't kill him.
It didn't break his pearl.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and then we after we see that, we see that they've tried to when Robot Logan, Host Logan or whatever it was, when he was giving us the tour of the Forge, he shows us that they were building a Man in Black.
Right.
In there, and they probably did it however many times. So that kind of leads into that final scene.
Yeah.
But the after credit scene is probably the most mind-blowing of the whole episode, at least in my opinion.
Right.
And that has Man in Black, we see that elevator door open, and it opens on, sand-ridden, dusty, just apocalyptic-looking Underground Delos Corporation, just the whole facility.
Yeah.
And he walks in there and he sees his daughter.
Right.
And, oh, fuck. That's just like the first thing that comes out of his mouth. I feel like that either confirmed that it confirmed it for him that he killed his real daughter, or it confirmed that he was correct, like in his own head.
Right.
That Ford is just messing with him.
Right. The way, and because she says, he says, "Am I in this already?
Yeah.
Am I already?" And she says, "No, the system's been gone a long time."
Yeah.
So I'm with you, but I don't know. Does that indicate more that this is more simulations? Like he's just in some digital world? I mean, if you look, I don't guess it was in Letterbox, which is one of the things we kind of were paying attention to when it was in Letterbox. They were either in like the Matrix or the Cradle
or the Forge.
Yeah. So interesting stuff there, because at the end, I think that's what kind of helps tip you off as to where.
But that was all full screen.
It was,
and but that could be a couple things. His number one goal was to die in the park.
Right.
To play a game that was worth playing.
Right.
What if that's Ford's final game was put him in a host body that can't die? And he's just forced to play forever, and it's all meaningless because they'll just rebuild him if he does.
I could see that. I also feel like it's probably, it could have just been, we know how he played the game from his profile.
Right.
Let's see how his robot self plays the game, or host.
Yeah.
And maybe we can see if we can get fidelity there. I don't know, because I think that. Like you said earlier, it could have been like this could have been the series finale.
Yeah.
But since we're going to get another season, I have to think that we'll see some more Man in Black.
You would think. I mean, he's a pretty important character.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think we're probably at the time where we want to do predictions. So
Sure.
let's go ahead and take a little break. We'll tell you about our friends at Cadell and Company.
And if you have any ideas, make sure to email us or send us some comments or whatever. But we're gonna do a whole episode, I think, on just predictions.
Yeah, we will. We're gonna gather up some stuff. All right, we'll be right back.
You don't have to just dream about the home improvement projects you see on TV. You can let Cadell & Company make your dreams a reality in your home. Cadell & Company has a no-pressure showroom in Norman, Oklahoma, with hand-picked materials such as wood floor, tile, carpet, cabinets, and countertops. Call Cadell & Company at 405-928-5026 or visit their Facebook page for pictures from their projects and directions to their showroom. Don't just dream about your home improvement. Let Cadell & Company make it a reality.
And if you go see Cadell Company out there in Norman, great people, mention Jest World and they'll give you 10% off their materials. So awesome.
Yep.
Want to tell you about Tangent World real quick. Tangent World is our other podcast.
Yes.
It's in the same park, I guess.
Yeah.
You got Jest World, Tangent World. We'll probably come up with some more. And you can get those at the same places that you get Jest World, Spreaker, iTunes Podcast, YouTube. But Tangent World,
they share a Facebook page.
They do, and a YouTube page. It is where we do like our watch-alongs for all the Westworld
season
episodes
2.
in season 2.
Oh yeah, we did all season 1, didn't we?
No,
well, not for Tangent World. We did that for Just.
Yeah,
well,
we did
do
like
watch-along.
recaps. Yeah, we didn't do the watch-along. Actually, the watch-alongs came because we were just talking about this stuff, and we're like, let's watch it.
Yeah,
and then we were for Just World, and then we would just go off on tangents. So we were like, let's do a Tangent World. And
it's all organic.
Yeah, it shouldn't sound like anything to you, or also UF. That could be another one of our our phrases.
We should get some T-shirts made with UF on them.
I think so.
Yeah,
totally.
Swag.
Yeah. But Tangent World movies that we've done so far, like Attack the Block, Cabin in the Woods.
Those are the ones we posted. Buckaroo
Buckaroo
Banzai.
Oh, I went to Peter Weller's house the other day.
Yeah?
Yeah, out in New Orleans.
Did you say hi?
Yeah, he said, what's
Sweet.
up? I was like, why was Buckaroo Banzai so weird?
Can you explain this movie to me?
He said, don't ask. Don't even ask. So I was like, okay.
He's like, it was the 80s.
And I was like, I'm a guest in your home, so I'll... and that's a fact. So,
that's a fact.
Yeah, but I did go outside of his house. It was pretty cool. He lived right next door to where Brad Pitt used to live down there, and Matthew McConaughey and them. I don't know.
All right.
McConaughey may still live down there. I wasn't invited into his house. I did. I went to John Goodman's house.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, stood outside his house.
Did you tell him you stick with him? I stick with John Connor. Or no, what's his name?
Dan.
I stick with Dan Connor.
Yeah.
John Connor was the leader of the rebellion.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you one thing. People were going up to John Connor's house. Let me switch the screen there.
John Goodman's house?
Yeah, John Goodman's house. Like, I stood outside on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
It was like looking, it was cool.
Respectful.
Yeah.
A respectful distance.
Like, let's just say he came out with a cup of coffee and was like doing something. I'd be like, hey, and that'd be it. I wouldn't bother the guy.
Like, shut the hell up, Brad.
Yeah.
You're out of your element, Brad.
You're out of your element. But people would walk up, like, over because there's like a bar, like the fences, the iron rod fences or whatever, and then privacy bushes behind those. People would walk right up to them and like hold their cameras up above that and take pictures. And I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much. This is the guy's house.
I don't really like to complain or anything, but the same thing happens to me because of this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
It's really not fun.
So that's Tangent World.
Yeah.
We're back to Just World. Okay, predictions.
Did we cover all the characters?
I
all
think
the important
so.
ones.
Yeah.
The only one we really didn't talk about was Horseman Clementine.
Yeah, she was death, or pretty much all of them.
Yeah, I think she was. I mean, they kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, she was, pale rider, pale horse.
Right.
She brought pestilence and death and war. So.
Yeah. She was.
And
she got gunned down.
Yep.
By Maeve, right?
By Maeve, but she still kept.
No, Armis. Well, no, it was Maeve.
I think it was Maeve.
Yeah.
But she she was still putting out her evil vibe.
Right.
So.
Oh, and so yeah, we mentioned probably, but I don't know if we talked about it. Hector, Armistice, they all bid it.
Yeah. Both armistices.
We did mention. Did we mention this though about Maeve? That Felix and Sylvester ended up, and this could kind of go into predictions too, because they were like, "Hey, see who's salvageable."
Yeah.
And they see Maeve over there, and
Oh yeah, they're totally saving her.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I think we see Maeve in season 3.
I would hope so.
More Man in Black.
Maybe.
Oh, if we don't, I'm gonna be pissed.
I would think so, but
I think it's gonna have to be like a telling from a different timeline.
Yeah,
though.
it might be like a young William, or it might be like the Man in Black, like escaping.
I think we have to see like how they actually created him, like where William actually died.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they'll have to give us a backstory.
How he died, and then how they made him a host after that. If he is.
Yeah.
If he is.
Yeah.
So, but I see more of that. Did you think that he killed his daughter, his real daughter? I don't.
I think, yes.
Okay.
I think the real daughter was there, but I also think that might have been like a variable that actually Ford didn't even think about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, I think that bitch is actually dead, though.
Do you think we see Ford at all in season 3? Because I do. Now, the balls that she escaped with, the pearls, there was 5 of them.
None of them were red.
None of them were red. So we weren't really thinking about that as far as Ford, but
we'll see him in flashbacks, I would assume.
Probably.
But, I was wrong. I didn't think he'd be in this season. At least as he was.
Right.
So,
but they did bring him back in a cool way without saying, "Hey, we just never killed his like that was a host that we killed," which still could be the case, really, if you think about it. That could be how they bring him into season 3. Was she killed a host?
Well, somebody like Ford, I bet he, even after death, that wouldn't have stopped him from working on the park.
True.
So I bet he could have died and just kept replacing him. Like he was smart enough and like aware with it enough to realize that he's a host and that he's going to be breaking down, so he'll have to replace himself. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I think that very well could be. I mean, there's so many possibilities with this show now. I mean, we're talking about Stubbs being a host, Man in Black being, William being a host,
but
it's crazy.
I really think they're setting it up for a future world. That'll be the next season. Would be Future World.
Yeah,
they're replacing and taking over countries, and all of Australia will be replaced. So they have an island of their own or something.
Do you think that there will be more parks, or you think they just kind of were like, we showed you a little bit and that's about it?
Oh no, I bet there's definitely more parks because Delos thinks they've won. Oh yeah, well I mean I think Delos thinks they've won, so they're gonna keep that.
Like
keep
reopen
that up.
Everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they keep doing with the Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
It only failed that one time, and that time after that.
Yeah.
And that time after that.
Yeah. Okay. Any more, let's see. Any more predictions? Here's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
I'll tell them while you're thinking if there's any more. But what we're going to do, we're going to come back probably in a few more days. When we got comments on our YouTube videos.
Yep.
Which, hey.
Yeah, we
we've
have some
been
emails.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, we actually one of our YouTube videos has more views than some of our
2
Facebook videos.
Million views.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That would be crazy. But a few hundred anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, in the last couple weeks, we
didn't expect anything of it.
Yeah, we just thought Fanboy Tom would be the only one who watches, and we appreciate him too.
He might still be. He might just be watching it that many times.
Tom, if you watched it 283 times, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yep.
But we want to do kind of a wrap up of the whole season because we're going to binge watch the whole season now. I mean, we've watched every episode like 3 times, but I've noticed with this show and like Game of Thrones, stuff like that, it's better to just watch them all, in one go.
Yeah, and knowing what you know now, you'll notice more things.
Totally.
Like small little subtle hints.
Exactly.
But
So we'll have another Jest World episode coming your way for sure, and then some other fun stuff. Of course, Tangent Worlds will still be coming your way.
Yes.
But if you want us to talk about any of your theories or predictions or questions, anything like that, send them right now to jestworld@gmail.com.
Yes.
And that way we can read it. We'll address it on that episode.
We're going to read as many of them as we can on this next one.
Yeah.
So
if you leave a comment on the YouTube, if you go over there and watch, we will we'll read it. So, but justworld@gmail is a pretty good way to get it to us.
Yes, that's our preferred method, just because it's all in one place.
Well, it's funny because I upload stuff and I edit it, upload it, and then I don't always go back to check stuff.
Yeah.
And so Chip came in today. I was like, "Did you see the comments and all the?" I was like, "What? What?"
Yeah.
So I mean that's good, but justworld@gmail is also the most direct, I would say.
Yeah.
But either way, however you want to do it, we appreciate all of it. And let's see what else. Oh, the clues. Hopefully you've been keeping up with the clues. Tonight's the last night.
Yep. So send in your once you've got it all out there and you've got it all down and you've got a pretty good idea of what the clue is, or the
message.
The message, yeah.
That all the clues will
Drink
lead
more
up to the
Ovaltine.
message. Yeah, it won't be that, but it might be that.
I mean, if we get that Ovaltine sponsorship.
Oh, it'll be that. We do have. Let's see. I got a point away from you, right? Yeah. We do have No Regrets to thank.
Yes.
Also, Cadell and Company all season long have been great supporters of the show.
And just a hint, but No Regrets supplied part of the prize for the the contest.
Yeah, so you want to win for sure.
Yes.
Also, unofficially, the show tonight is brought to you by Viking Ashley.
And that's totally not the clue for the night.
It's
Wink.
not. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But it was funny because Chip, of course, our friend Viking Ashley at
Yes.
No Regrets, we have a couple of shirts by her. And is it the same shirt on the back? I don't think I have the devil, right?
No, but I've got a dog.
Oh, is it a dog?
Yeah.
No, you got a devil.
Got a devil?
Yeah.
I
Little Viking devil.
don't even know what I'm wearing. Yeah, they're not the same though.
They're not. But Chip showed up, and I was like, "Oh, Chip, we're wearing the same shirt."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Allow it."
Allow it.
Which is from Attack the Block, another Tangent World we did. So.
Which you should watch.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a great movie. It's got a young John Boyega in it.
It does, and also the new Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a kick-ass movie. So.
It is. If you like kind of campy sci-fi, yeah.
Yeah, and that one's on our show, Tangent World.
Tangent World.
Yeah, we go off on tangents if you didn't know. All right, so we will have all this up at the usual spots, Spreaker, YouTube, iTunes. If you would, you can help us out immensely by anywhere that you listen to our podcast, leave like a review. So if it's on Spreaker or iTunes podcast,
preferably a good review, but we'll take what we get.
Yeah, we will, be honest. But if it's a good review, what happens is that just helps people find our show.
Yes.
So we would appreciate if you would do that.
And like and share and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate it because obviously people have been doing what we've asked.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tickled pink over all this.
He is. Look, literally, he's pink. All right, so like I say, we will have another Jest World coming up very soon.
Yes.
And after that, Tangent World's out the wazoo.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, good night.
Yeah, for Chip Goddard, I'm Brad Reed. See you in a few.